Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're going to sing Christmas Time's a Coming. If you all would like to join us, stand up and we're going to sing. Get your bells going.
Yep.
1, 2, ready, go. Here we go.
Christmas time's a coming. Christmas time's a coming. Christmas time's a coming, and we hope you feel at home. Snowflakes are falling, firehearts are calling, tall pines are humming. Christmas time's a coming. Can't you hear those bells are ringing, ringing? Joy, don't you hear them singing? If it's snowing, I won't be going back to my country home. Christmas time's a coming. Christmas time's a coming. Christmas time's a coming, and we hope you feel at home. Holly's in the window, wind outside is blowing, candles are glowing. Christmas time's a coming. Can't you hear those bells ringing, ringing? Joy, don't you hear them singing? If it's snowing, I won't be going back to my country home. Christmas time's a coming. Christmas time's a coming. Christmas time's a coming, and we hope you feel at home. Christmas time's a coming. Christmas time's a coming. Christmas time's a coming, and I know I'm home sweet home.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Jack Porter, and welcome to Unity of the Hill Country, where we offer a positive path to spiritual living. The daily word has been given worldwide unity movement of daily prayer since 1924 in July. Our reader today is my sister-in-law, Anita Pope.
Good morning. I'm privileged to read the daily word with you this morning. The daily word for today is peace. The affirmation, peace is the song of my heart. Let's say that together. Peace is the song of my heart. As the Advent journey continues, I seek to embody peace. No matter what might be happening around me, I can rise above that which troubles and distracts me. All that takes my attention away from the spiritual life, and my relationship with God. Peace is always mine, an aspect of my divine identity. When peace feels far away, I take it as a cue to center myself in spirit. I return to the practices that calm my mind and open my heart. As I relax and enter the silence, I touch the peace and perfection of God and claim that peace as my own. Returning to activity, I carry peace with me. I bring harmony into my interactions, calm to my reactions, and tranquility to every corner of my life. I won't just be peaceful, I will be peace itself. Jude 1:2, it is written, may mercy, peace, and love be yours in abundance. And let's say the affirmation, Peace is the song of my heart.
Thank you, Anita. The Unity Movement started in 1889 with an answered prayer. Myrtle Fillmore was healed from tuberculosis. We are honored to pray with you. You can request a prayer to be at unity.org. You can also place a request in our lobby prayer box or at the unityhillcountry.org and click on Ministry tab. Please take a moment now to silence our phones, and also please do not disturb our gathering. And also welcome everybody out there in La La Land. Welcome to our service today. Unity is a global, inclusive spiritual community. We offer practical, uplifting resources to help people of all faiths apply positive spiritual principles. Here at Unity, we honor all paths to God. Please join me in affirming our mission and vision statement. Consciously celebrating divine potential in all, as well as the Unity statement of faith. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe. God, the good, the omnipotent. Our congregational song this week is Peace in Our Hearts, and followed by meditation song, The Four Gifts.
We also have a guest guitarist today.
Yes.
This is Carrie Land on guitar.
We're gonna walk together, arm in arm, with peace in our hearts. We're gonna walk together, arm in arm, with peace in our hearts. Gonna walk together, arm in arm, so our sisters and brothers won't come to any harm. We know we got peace in our hearts. We're gonna walk with every color and tribe, with peace in our hearts. We're gonna walk with every color and tribe, with peace in our hearts. We're gonna walk with every color and tribe, 'cause we're stronger together when we're on the same side. We know we got peace in our hearts. We're gonna stand for the earth and the children too, with peace in our hearts. We're gonna stand for the earth and the children too, with peace in our hearts. We're gonna stand for the earth and the children too, 'cause it'll take everyone to make this dream come true. We know we got peace in our hearts. We're gonna stare to the face of the hateful mind, with peace in our hearts. We're gonna stare into the face of the hateful mind, with peace in our hearts. We're gonna stare into the face of the hateful mind. All we gotta do is let our love light shine. We know we got peace in our hearts. We know we got peace in our hearts. We know we got peace in our hearts. feel the gift of joy. I feel it lifting up, rising in all of us. I feel the gift of hope. I feel the gift of peace. I feel the gift of love. I feel the gift of joy. I feel it lifting up, rising in all of us. I feel it lifting up, rising in all of us.
I feel the spiritual gifts that are always available to me. Be still. Go within. Find God as you know God to be. Because God is there. Right there in the midst of who you are. Radiating from every cell in your body. As we open to that amazing presence that's always available to us, we can embrace the divine guidance that's always here. We move past any delusion that we might be separate from God and are ready, willing, and able to make this world a better place. In unity, whenever we take time to meditate and to pray, we take a moment to pray for others. Bring to mind any individuals, any groups, any situations that you'd like to pray for now. We include all of the prayer requests received here at Unity of the Hill Country in our prayer request box or through the request form on our website. And without knowing any of the specifics, we can pray. Seeing and knowing that the divine substance, the divine potential, and the divine perfection are in and expressing through each of these requests as wholeness, as their highest good, today and every day hereafter. We pray by knowing that Unity of the Hill Country is thriving in consciousness, people, and revenues today and every day hereafter. The God presence as Unity of the Hill Country is a divine magnet, attracting anyone who can benefit from who we are or what we are about, attracting health, prosperity, love, and joy to Unity of the Hill Country and all who are guided here today and every day hereafter. I now invite you to take the words I'm about to speak as your own prayer in this meditation this morning. God, I now choose to release resentment, anger, and judgment into that void. The love of God is expressed by me this December. The love of God is expressed right now. I express a loving and forgiving heart. And as I prepare for 3 minutes of silence, I contemplate this wonderful divine idea of love in the silence. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I now radiate love to all God's creation and accept love in return. Today I am renewed in spirit. I am filled with thoughts of love. I am one with the universe. I am God's creation of love. I express love and light in our world. I keep in mind this week that Christmas is an opportunity for rebirth. The rebirth of life, of light and love. We can express love at any time. I am willing to look beyond outer appearances. And I remember Jesus' teaching, the greatest commandment of all is to love. And for my ever-growing awareness of the omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipresence of God, I am grateful. I pray these things in the name and the nature and the power that we know is symbolized by Jesus Christ. And as we draw our focus back to the sanctuary, I'll share the words of one of our two founders, Charles Fillmore. We are now in the presence of pure being, immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. We acknowledge thy presence and thy power, O blessed Spirit. And by divine wisdom now erase our mortal limitations, and from thy pure substance of love bring into manifestation our world according to thy perfect law. Amen. We now have some special music.
Do you see what I see?
Do you hear what I hear? Do you hear what I hear? Do you know what I know?
Do you know what I know?
Pray for peace,
People everywhere.
Pray for peace, people everywhere.
Said the night wind to the little lamb. Do you see what I see?
Do you see what I see?
Way up in the sky, little lamb. Do you see what I see?
Do you see what I see? A star, dancing in the night with a tail as big as a kite, with a tail as big as a kite. Said the little lamb to the shepherd boy, do you hear what I hear? Do you hear what I hear? Ringing through the night, shepherd boy. Do you hear what I hear? Do you hear what I hear? A song, high above the trees, with a voice as big as the sea, with a voice as big as the sea. Said the shepherd boy to the mighty king, do you know what I know?
Do you know what I know?
In your palace warm, mighty king, do you know what I know?
Do you know what I know?
A child shivers in the cold. Let us bring him silver and gold. Let us bring him silver and gold. The child, sleeping in the night, he will bring us goodness and light. He will bring us goodness and light. Pray for peace, people everywhere. Pray for peace, people everywhere.
Thank you. You may have noticed as you came in that there's a stack of books out there, Unity, A Quest for Truth, a generous donation by Robin Stewart over here. She wanted to make sure everybody had a chance to read this book. So be sure you pick one up if you know someone you think might be curious about what Unity's philosophy about spirituality. This is a great little primer on that. So please, it's there to be taken and distributed. So let's do a virtual hug. Good morning. A man decided to get a pet, and he got, a talking bird, a parrot. And at the pet store, the bird would talk, the bird would sing. He brings the bird home, and the bird doesn't seem to want to do much of anything. So he runs back to the pet shop, like, what gift for a parrot, And so he ends up buying a mirror, and then a bell, and then a swing, and then a special perch. And goes back, installs them all in the cage, and the birds are just looking at him and says, "Can I have something to eat?" And that's one of the challenges we have at this time of the year. What's the perfect gift? Well, what does the person really need? Each year we pair up with somebody to do a special Christmas offering, and that's what we're going to do next Sunday. We'll have a special Christmas offering. And we decided to pair up with one of our partners already, and that's the Christian Assistance Ministries. You may have driven by there or wondered about the place, but back in 1987, a group of churches here in Kirk County got together and said, we get people who come to us, they want money or they want food and all that. Why don't we pool our resources so we've got a place that all of that stuff is available? And so now we got 40 churches. We're a member of the Christian Assistance Ministries and do give them pretty regularly. But we figure for this particular Sunday, whatever the offering is on that Sunday, we will give 10% to Christian Assistance Ministries. And as I thought about it, I said, these, like I said, with our parrot, I know recently got in mail, in fact, yesterday about, wanting to fund, these schools in poor countries in Africa. And I'm like, well, yeah, but there are people in Kirk County who need some help right now, too. So I thought that was a very, very proper way to go about it. So what are the basics? Last week I kind of shared some of those basic needs that we've got, and sometimes we don't know how to express them. But one of the basic needs is love. Being willing to express love. I know Carla and I had a wonderful friend, a Unity minister named Amalia Frank. She passed away back about 10 years ago. She would talk about, there are these categories of love. First there's eros, the erotic love. But then there's the family love, the love of, just, I love you, man. But then there's agape, that sense, and of course agape, we don't, if you say it differently, it's the word agape. You're totally open to love, this divine love that's always there, always available to us. So as we've been going through these Sunday in December, I've been looking at these, 4 Sundays of Advent: hope, peace, love, and joy. So I'm on love this particular week. And this tradition started in Germany in the 400s. And, you think back to, no TV, no phones. The only light was from candles or lamps, so people noticed, when the lights started to dwindle in December. And I know in planning for our, Christmas and New Year's Eve service, I looked at when's the sunset, here in Kerrville. And I looked it up. It's 5:51 p.m. And I noticed that last year, that, oh, wow, it's a lot later. Being from Chicago, here's Chicago, of course, it's farther north, and it's right at the eastern edge of the central time zone. And it turns out on that very day, where 5:41 here, it'll be 4:22 in the afternoon in Chicago. I always remember getting dark. I see some nodding heads, see someone from Peoria and all of that. So yeah, it can be depressing. And so I thought it was very interesting how even hundreds, thousands of years ago, people recognized, we need to kind of lift the spirits. And then you have this amazing solstice that has been celebrated for centuries, that sense, okay, the least amount of daylight, and then suddenly things begin to get better. And in the Christian tradition, they place Christmas 3 days afterwards. Why? Because the moon disappears for 3 days, and then it reemerges. So I heard somebody saying, we're going to celebrate Jesus' birthday. And it's like, well, all of the Bible scholars say they think his birthday was probably in April or May, but I digress. But the key is recognizing, okay, this is that chance for a rebirth, a reboot, as we say here in the 21st century. I think most people have experienced love of some sort. I know a couple years ago I had the realization someone in the congregation would say, I love you, and I would always have a hard time answering that because I had this basic assumption that you say I love you to someone that you're intimate with and have committed to be with them for the rest of their lives. And I finally had that breakthrough. No, wait, that's not what people are trying to say, and that's not what they're trying to elicit from me. Now I can understand the family love, the agape love. So, what has been your experience with love? Ed Rabel, the late Ed Rabel, one of the teachers there at Unity Village Seminary, came up with a definition that I've enjoyed. He says, unconditional love is the ability to want the highest good for myself, but also see everyone else also have their highest good. And I like that one. It's like, yeah. You look at everything going on in the world right now, and imagine what it would be like if everybody had that vision of seeing everybody have their highest good unfolding for them now. Part of the symbolism of Christmas is this rebirth. So, regardless of what's happening in your life, know that you are always connected to agape, the love, the divine love that's always there. It's in every cell of your body. And yet some of us have had the delusion at some point in our life to decide that for some reason we're not worthy of that love. The reason that the writer of the gospel put Jesus' birth in Bethlehem is that the writer of Matthew wanted to convince the Jews that this was the Messiah. And Bethlehem was the birthplace of King David, and they wanted to show that indeed Jesus was from the lineage of King David. But Bethlehem was a rotten, unpleasant little town. And so the symbolism to the people of born in Bethlehem, and not just in Bethlehem, and not just in an inn, but often the barn behind the inn. And I remember a Bible scholar saying once ago, well, think about this, the inns basically were people, making a room available to travelers. And so suddenly you've got this pregnant woman here, she's going into labor. It's probably a good idea to give them some privacy, so why not? The barn out and back, so that they could have some privacy. And yet, the symbolism is just so powerful. Sometimes the most transformative thing in your life can come wrapped in a very unpleasant package. I know some of you have been in a barn. I have too. Even though I grew up in Chicago, I had cousins who were dairy farmers and another set of cousins who were who raised hogs. It stinks in there. And yet, boom. So whether it's the gift of hope or love or peace or joy, isn't it funny that it can sometimes emerge from the most unpleasant outer experiences? But if we're open and receptive to it, Yeah, it's there, and we can bring it forth in our own life. In the book of Isaiah, of course, in the Hebrew Testament, so here, it's in this testament that they tried to lay out the criterion of what this Messiah would be like, and they disagreed in many ways, which is why it was so confusing. Well, is this the guy? Is this Jesus of Nazareth? So years before that, Isaiah, the 54th chapter, God is talking to the people. For the mountain may depart and the hills may be removed, but my steadfast love shall not depart from you. And my covenant of peace shall not be removed, says God, who has compassion for you. There was a woman who had a little greenhouse, in her backyard, and someone had come to visit her, and she was a wonderful gardener. And so the visitor was admiring various plants, and here was this beautiful chrysanthemum. And as she looked down, it was in this rusty old dented pot. She's like, "What's this about?" She said, "Well, I figure it doesn't matter to the mom." And as magnificent of a flower as it is, it doesn't care if it's got a rusty dented thin pot. So in unity, we embrace that teaching of Jesus of do not judge by appearances alone. Use right wisdom. Use your intuition. And as I say so often, God, show me the good in this because I don't have a clue. And then be open to that guidance. Okay, what's the next step? What do I need to do? So if we're in a situation where we are encountering someone who is making it very challenging to express love, can we say, wow, tell me more. Let's talk about that. Get it all off your chest now. Maybe we can help address the challenges that you're having. And remember that whatever energy we put out is going to come back to us multiplied. And I say this as a student of this discipline. I mean, there are times where, in fact, this week, I had a misunderstanding about something. I was pissed. I was like, getting loaded for bear. But I've learned over the years that wait at least 24 hours, maybe 48 hours before you respond. Because it's amazing how your imagination can run off with the worst possible scenario. And then, of course, as I had conversations, it's like, oh, okay, well, that's different than what my imagination had run away with. In the Gospel of Matthew, here again, teaching, okay, this Jesus guy, he's the one. In the 22nd chapter of Matthew, in the Christian Testament, Jesus is asked, what's the greatest commandment? We learned that they're trying to see which of the 10 he'll come up with. And Jesus said, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and all your strength. That was not one of the 10 they were familiar with. But he goes on and says, there's another one like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. So do you love yourself? And I looked those first 29 years of my life when I was walking through the world unconsciously. Isn't it interesting that sometimes I'm projecting my crap onto other people, trying to find some way to heal that crap. So love your neighbor as yourself. It's like, yeah, if I can feel worthy, if I can feel like, yes, I can express love. I can be an expression of love in this world, even when all around me seems to be contrary to that. And if you've ever taken an airline trip, you've heard the spiel, is before you take off. If the cabin pressurizes, an oxygen mask will fall from the ceiling. Put your own oxygen mask on first, or you will lose consciousness and you won't be able to help anyone else around you. So we have this infinite supply of love. Have you noticed that when you're ready to express love, you don't need to go online to check the balance in your account? It just comes. You know, and that can be true of everything, including our financial supply. If we're not willing to choke it off, we let it go and say, oh, yes, this love just seems to be coming from nowhere, and I can give away as much of it as I want. A man tells the story of growing up in a family that had a house across from the Johns Hopkins Clinic and Hospital in Baltimore. You know, now I know a lot of you are in the medical field, but I mean, this was one of the best. This was one of the innovative ones, you know, where you know, this millionaire of his time, you know, left the money. I want a good quality hospital. You know, this was like the late 1800s, and I want a children's hospital, and I want people to try new. So he said as he was growing up, it seemed like a lot of the houses there around the clinic and the hospital had an extra bedroom for rent. You know, and they would just rent it to people who had come and needed treatment. Of course, back then, most people would come on public transportation, buses or that sort of thing. So the man said that one evening his mom was making supper, and there was a knock at the door, and he looked through the screen door, and there was this man. He was short, stooped, shriveled, and the left side of his face was very hard to look at. It was inflamed. And so Mom came to the door, and the man said, I came for treatment here to Johns Hopkins, and I'm looking for a room I could rent tonight. I need to leave on a bus in the morning. You know, do you have your extra bedroom available? And she said, well, no. He says, look, I'm not stupid. I know that my face is hideous to some. He said, but she got a rocking chair here on the porch. You know, could I sleep there tonight? And she said, no, that's okay. We'll figure something out. I tell you what, we're just about ready for supper. Why don't you come on and eat? And so they come and eat, and here the young boy and the other children were kind of like just fascinated with it and had all of the questions. Why does your face look like that? Well, I've got skin cancer, and so I come here, you know, to the clinic across the street to get treatment every few months. And they started to learn more about him. And you know how it is. You sit down with someone new, it's a little maybe awkward at first, but it turns out he's a fisherman on the shore there in Maryland, you know, that he had to take a bus, you know, leaves at like 4 in the morning from where he was to get to the Johns Hopkins Clinic on time. And so as they finished, that's right. They were talking about him and his living there on the shore of Maryland. And it turns out that he had a full house. His wife had passed away, but his wonderful adult daughter had married a man. And he ended up breaking his back. And so he couldn't work. And so here this man invited them to come stay with him along with their 5 children. And so here he was taking care of all of these people. And the writer of the essay said, it was amazing. This guy just exuded love. And sure enough, his mom comes walking in with an army cot, you know, that she borrowed from one of the neighbors. She goes, oh, here, you know, why don't you, you know, sleep here in, you know, in the side room. And so he did, and then the next morning, you know, she got up at 7, and here he had folded everything very nicely and was going to catch his bus. And he says, you know, your children really made me feel at home. It's amazing how grown-ups can be just so horrified by my face, but kids are curious. They want to know. They don't judge me. You know. He said, I do need to come back from treatment. Would you be willing to, you know, have me as someone to rent your room? And she says, of course. In fact, as soon as you know the dates, let me know so that I can hold the room for him. The next time he showed up, it was at 7 a.m. He had a big fresh fish that he had caught, and he had a bucket, and he says it was the largest oysters he had ever seen. And the man said, well, I waited until this morning to shuck them so they'd be fresh. And he started doing the math in his head. He'd go, well, if this guy leaves, jumps on the bus at 4 in the morning, when was he shucking these oysters? But they were delicious. And then he says, as the years went by, there was just a friendship there, and they'd get an express mail package, and sure enough, fish, oysters, vegetables from his garden. He was also doing that. So the man who wrote the essay said he remembered the next day as his mom was outside giving the cot back to the woman who had loaned it to him. He said, did you let that guy stay with you last night? What, are you crazy? I mean, you'll chase away other clients. And she said, no, he was fine. He was a wonderful man. She came back in, and her son was asking her about what's her problem, kind of a thing. She says, imagine if I had turned him away. We never would have met this man. We never would have been able to be accepting of this man and let him to be accepting of us. You know, what a wonderful experience we had, talking with him. In the Christian Testament letter to the Galatians, 5th chapter, 22nd verse, the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness. I know some people frown at Christmas time when you re-gift something. I have never heard anyone reject gifting love. So let's take a look at the takeaways for you to ponder this week. Remember, Christmas is an opportunity to reboot or rebirth. And we can embrace a rebirth of love in our lives, being willing to express it at any time. Are we willing to look beyond outer appearances? And then remember that the greatest commandment is the thing we all really kind of want the most, and that's love. Pope John Paul II once said that the worst prison in this world is a closed heart. In unity, we try to follow the teachings of Jesus. He taught us a way to act, to live. So keep in the forefront of your mind this week, is this a moment for me to express love? I have a video for you from Steve Hartman of the CBS Evening News.
Red.
Miami preschoolers Gia Sarnicola and Zuri Copeland say they're not best friends.
I know.
They say they're closer than that. Closer than mere sisters even.
Hold on, I'm gonna wash the paintbrush.
In fact, Gia and Zuri truly believe they're twins.
Oh, yeah.
Ashley and Valencia are their moms.
They will tell you that they are twins, and they have a long list of reasons why to back it up.
To them, what makes a twin?
Similarities. Similarities.
Look, come here.
For example, the girls say they're both 4, their birthdays are practically the same day, and of course the obvious physical similarities.
So what am I looking at here?
The same height.
Oh, because you're the same height.
Clearly twins. Which is why they also insist on matching outfits whenever possible. So far, Ashley and Valencia have indulged them. But they also recognize there is some bitter to this sweet.
You're happy for, for a few seconds, and then you become sad because they have to grow up. And then society takes over.
Indeed, society has already tried to take over.
Last month, Zuri and Gia were at a birthday party when an older kid told them they couldn't be twins because they don't have the same skin color. Gia broke down. But through her tears, she got out this rebuttal. She said, "You don't know what you're talking about. We're twins because we share the same soul."
I just get chill bumps.
Soul?
I was just thrown by just that word.
Yeah.
Obviously, what Gia was trying to say is that at our core, we are one. And as we look back on this year, with all its division and racial strife, it's important to remember that while all this was going on, so was this.
We have a lot to learn,
Right.
and we can learn from children.
In fact, the moms say they already have.
For sure.
Yeah.
We've never talked so much on the phone.
Yeah.
And that's what the twins want for all of us. To push back against the cynics.
Some girls said we're not twins, and we are twins.
And to stop it with this discrimination business once and for all.
And it makes her sad.
That way, they say, we can move on to the more important things in life.
You know what we're gonna get today?
What?
We're gonna get ice cream!
Steve Hartman,
And you go.
Oh.
on the road without ice cream in Miami.
In the Gospel of John, 13th chapter, Jesus says, "New commandment I give to you, that you love one another. Even as I have loved you, that you will love one another. By this all people will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." May you always be open to God's guidance and grace. Mr. Porter?
Thank you. If this is your first time, Unity, do we have anybody for the first time here? Okay, all family. We're glad you're here. Doesn't matter if it's the first time or 20 times. Okay. We hope that out there, if you're the first on the web for the first time, we hope that you're finding a place of like-minded people and a place to belong. We teach spiritual tools that can help you no matter what you are going on in your life. Please give us your email. Okay, there's nobody here, so I'm going to skip this part. Now we have an opportunity to support our spiritual cooperative. If you would like to donate by credit card or go on the website at unityhillcountry.org and click donate the button and scan the OR code on your handout. I had to get used to that term. Please consider giving an automatic monthly contribution, or if you prefer, mail us a check over here at 1016 Jefferson Street in Kerrville. And thank you very much for your generosity. Please bless what we're going to be giving now. And let us say our offering affirmative together, affirmation together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive, and send it forth with my blessings and my love.
Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strains. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Shepherds, why this jubilee? Why your joyous strains prolong? Say what may the tidings be, which inspire your heavenly song. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Come to Bethlehem and see him whose birth the sing. Come adore on bended knee, Christ the Lord, your newborn King. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo.
Thank you, choir. We open our hearts in gratitude as we receive these donations. We send these gifts forward throughout our congregation and throughout the world, blessing all that it affects. Amen. Please check your bulletin in the lobby information table for various activities this week. We do have the Crones of Kerrville, Troop 1, meeting on Tuesday, December the 12th, from 11 to 1 p.m. And next Sunday is Abundant Sunday, so bring a dish to share if you are able to, or just simply stay and enjoy the fellowship and a good meal, and there's always plenty of food. Oh, well, I'm going to explain that. Okay, you're ahead of me. The blood drive. Okay, the Bloodmobile will be back next Sunday. They have rescheduled it, and they said they can do it, so it will be here. So from 11 to 4 p.m., please grab a flyer in the lobby for information and sign up for an appointment, and we will help you schedule your appointment. Okay, so they will be here. Also, December 17th, as Reverend Bob mentioned, we'll have a special Christmas offering to the Christian Assistance Ministry called CAM. And I would like to invite everyone to know that we are going to have a Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve services on Sunday, the December 24th, and on December the 31st at 3:30 p.m. So come and visit with us.
Jack, can I say something real quick about the candlelight service?
Yes.
On Christmas Eve? If you'll come a little early that day, some of my students from Fredericksburg are going to come and play Christmas music, a little mini recital from 3 to 3:30, and then the candlelight service will start at 3:30. So if you're able to come a little early, you'll hear some more Christmas music. And then, of course, our Unity Team singers will be also singing that day.
Great. That sounds great. Thank you. Yes. Is this in lieu of the regular service? Yes. Okay. So let's go over that again. December 24th, 3:30 p.m. for Christmas Eve, and New Year's Eve, the 31st at 3:30 p.m. Okay, we reached the end of our service today, so please gather around in a circle, join hands, and we will sing the peace song and the prayer for protection.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with
Y'all come back.